She was smiling and laughing. I was smiling and laughing, and it was going good, even though I was super nervous. But it was great. And so then halfway in between, she started talking about the real deal stuff.
Welcome to Sweet Looks, guys.
Doing it.
It's another day as a photographer, right, Jerry? Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Thank you for coming back. And before we even start, let me just start off with this. I am so appreciative to everyone who watched my last video and actually reached out to me. So if you don't know, my last video, which you should definitely check out because, well, my video before that, because my last video was of my cute little kitten Nico, so that's adorable. Definitely go watch that as well. But the video before that was about me talking about how my year's been. It's been crazy. Other things has happened. Which, side note, please pray for my brother, or at least bring out some good vibes, because he did lose his daughter. She was only 5 years old, and it was of a horrible car accident. So, you know, it's been 2 weeks, and it really shook the family. So, the fact that my niece is gone and my brother is in so much pain just pains me. So if you could just please send out those good vibes, I really appreciate it. Thank you guys. Back to what I was saying. So thank you so very much for messaging me and entrusting me with some of your crazy, really sometimes emotional stories. I was really surprised, genuinely, that I actually got messages, and so thank you for entrusting me with that information. That was really, really cool that I was able to feel even less alone in what's been going on. And thank you for thanking me for being that friend for you. That really encouraged me to continue to reach out. Thank you again. You guys have been encouraging for me, and I hope I've done the same. So, why did I not get into the sonography program and become a diagnostic medical sonographer? Well, so it all really went downhill during my interview. But before that, let me rewind to the very beginning where everything was hype and good. So it was obviously before COVID-19, where I was getting ready to go into the sonography program. So basically my advisor at that time was hyping me up. She basically made me feel like I was going to get into the program, which is good. She really made my confidence level go up. I don't blame her for anything. I'm just saying she was a great advisor, and she really helped me to get through some of my nerves, my anxiety about getting into the program, and she really made me feel like I deserve to be in this program because of not only my academic history, but also my personality and all that other good stuff. So right before the interview, she basically was telling me, be honest, but just know that they take this very seriously and that anything you say can go against you. So, I heard her and I was very receptive of that information, but I'm an interview's an interview. I'm just going to be honest and say what I got to say so that the person interviewing me, which was the professor of that class, the sonography class, hopefully she feels my personality, she likes me, and hopefully it'll go great. So basically what happened was when I was in the interview, she was going down a list of questions, first, starting off with the basics, what's your name? What made you get into having an interest of becoming a diagnostic medical sonographer? She wanted to know if I had transportation, if I was going to live in the area, because obviously on my form it showed that I lived about an hour away. So she was like kind of concerned about that, and she just wanted to make sure that I was good. And the interview in the beginning was flowing. It was good. You know what I mean? I was feeling great. She was smiling and laughing. I was smiling and laughing. And it was going good, even though I was super nervous. But it was great. And so then halfway in between, she started talking about the real deal stuff. She was like, so, when you're in the program, here's some scenarios that you might encounter, especially during clinicals. I was like, all right, cool. What are the scenarios? And she's like, well, for one, how are you with blood? And I was like, being 100% honest, I told her, I am not the best with blood, but I can definitely get through a situation. And she's like, okay, jotting down all that. And she's like, so let's have a scenario where you were in a room with a patient that was pregnant but now hemorrhaging. How would you handle that? And I was like, I was like, well, she was like, there's also scenarios where you might have a patient with gangrene and the smell might be really offensive, but you have to be in there possibly for a long period of time trying to get this image. And I was like, okay. And she's like, so how would you handle that? And so of course I gave her the best answers. Honestly, I don't even remember what I said, but I creatively said something. Then she asked the question if my back and shoulder are good. And that's mostly because she said, as a sonographer, you're taking images and sometimes they're really deep. So you have to be able to, maneuver the machine and really get in there to get a clear image. And if you have back or shoulder problems, that might not work. She's like, so do you have a history of that? Being honest, I was like, well, when I used to work at Home Depot, I don't know why I told her that. I was just being honest. I did tell her that I did have a minor back injury that landed me like 2 weeks in physical therapy. And yes, maybe occasionally I feel a little pain, but that doesn't mean anything. And of course, she's jotting it down. I'm like, oh man, this is not good. But let me tell you one thing that my advisor told me before I got into the actual interview. She said, if at the end of the interview you are signing papers, that's a very good sign. So I'm over here like sweating bullets. It's getting towards the end of the interview and I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm not signing papers. This is going downhill. So I guess I gave it a good shot. But then she pulls out a folder and she starts handing me papers and telling me to sign and date. And I'm like, woo, this is good. This is awesome. So I was hyped. I left out there like feeling good. Hey, like I should. You know what I'm saying? I was feeling hype. But then I got a text maybe like a few days in, maybe a week later, saying, can you come in for a second interview? And I'm like, yes. I'm over here texting her, oh, a second interview, that must be great. And the fact that she didn't respond, because my advisor was really, really good at like responding positively, helping me set up mentally for what's next. And she was just like, okay, come at like 2 or something like that. And I was like, well, okay. So what happened was I end up going to the second interview, and it was with the dean, I think, of the school. She basically sat me down and said, you're not getting it. Like, Point blank period. She probably said it nicer, but that's all I heard. And my mind just went racing. I'm like, what? So, like, it was really hard for me not to cry because my mom and her sister and her friends are at the house waiting for me with this good news. And they're at the house that I was supposed to move to so I could even go to this program. And I'm feeling so triggered. And I was like, don't cry. Don't cry. And so I'm literally just staring at her. At this point, I'm staring at her, and she's saying a bunch of words. And I know at one point she asked me questions about what I really want to do in life. And I told her, like, I really want to do media production and take pictures and videos for people. And then she started talking about how I should do, like, maternal pictures, and, like, okay. And she's scrolling through her phone trying to find pictures of something that she recently saw of her family or something like that. I don't know. Again, my mind was not even connected to what she was saying. I was just like, I just want to go home. Like, if I'm not in this program, why am I here? So finally, I calmed my thoughts down, and I was like, I don't even know why I didn't get into the program. So she finally explained that because in my interview I expressed that I didn't like blood and that I had back issues, which I didn't say at all. Like, that is not how I worded my comment. I basically said the truth. Do I like seeing people bleed out? No. But would I deal with it during the situation and be composed as a medical professional and do my job? Yeah, that's the truth. And did I have back issues? Yes, I had an injury, but does that affect me to the point where I can't do a job? No, I'm literally outside all the time, like, working and lifting heavy stuff. And right now with my current job, I'm doing that now where I have to do physical stuff all the time. So I don't know. It was just like, that was all they saw, and they were like, well, let's X her out. But what she said that was interesting, for another reason why I didn't get into the program, was that I didn't have any medical work history. So although I graduated as a certified dental assistant, I worked in, and of course with clinicals, but actual working environment, getting paid in a dental office, I guess they didn't consider that to be medical experience. I don't know. But she said that people who are like CNAs, LPNs, people who have actually worked in a hospital, even if that's being like an x-ray technician, you know, she said those are the people who are going to get in more than likely because they already have that experience with the environment and understand what's going on in a hospital setting or whatever. So I don't know. It was pretty interesting to learn that I basically never had a chance if that was the case, because other than volunteering at the hospital, it was like I never worked at a hospital. I never had an interest of being a nurse or a doctor or anything in between. So even though I was super bummed out, and it was mostly because I felt like they were basing it off of reasons that weren't necessarily completely true, like they didn't really hear me out and they didn't really see my potential as a sonographer. But at the end of the day, it kind of worked out. I'm super glad that I still get to do what I love, and you know what? It made me change my career choice, and I went into the program thinking that this is job security, thinking that this is something that I want to do to make not other people happy, but kind of proud of me, you know, to be somebody, okay? And it ended up backfiring anyways, but what I learned is that When I do the things I love, I'm happier. I feel like I can actually enjoy my job and not complain about a single thing, because every single time I'm out there taking pictures or filming, I have a joy in my heart. And thank you again for coming to this video. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you learned something. I hope if you're going to an interview, you keep things like that in mind. Don't lie. Never lie. But, stay true. If you don't get in, there's something better for you out there. Thank you for being a wonderful and beautiful person. Stay blessed.